you're in any doubt exactly how the mainstream media works over here in the United Kingdom, or possibly just around the world the same, take a look at this particular story here. The former British Labour MP Gerard O'Mara has recently been jailed for 4 years for claiming fraudulent expenses, amongst other things. But over here in the United Kingdom, one particular paper, a free giveaway called the Metro newspaper, had other ideas about what the British public really wanted to read about. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. As we've said many times before in this show, it's all about how they paint an individual narrative, isn't it? This Metro newspaper over here, as I say, is a free giveaway. You can pick it up at tube stations and on the buses. I'm not quite sure why you would want to, because of course it's so behind with all yesterday's news. But what's fascinating recently that the editor is stepping down, and now lots of people are also going to be losing their jobs on the newspaper. Not happy for them, but this is simply because, of course, less and less people are picking up the free newspaper and ad revenue is down. But the main reason could be simply this. Their grip on reality about what's really going on in the world really shows their true colours when it comes to their political coverage. As you can see, this particular story about the Labour MP, which we mentioned at the start of the video, only made a very small paragraph. You see, a tiny, tiny paragraph in the newspaper. However, consecutively and for many weeks, the front page story, particularly by this editor, Ted Young, has basically featured the former British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Boris Johnson, even though this is truly something of a non-story, people might say. Mr. Johnson's not going to jail for 4 years. He's not being caught, fraudulently sort of claiming expenses. But seemingly, they've decided over here in the British media that in fact Mr. Johnson's a far worse villain than the MP going to jail. You get the picture. Now, the bigger story really is this. This newspaper is not alone. Many of them over here decide exactly how they wish to portray those individual people. You see, at the same time as this Labour MP, Angela Rayner was crowing about how the current government have decided to spend our money. She herself has been expensing her own energy bills and even buying her own AirPod earplugs, all on the expenses of the British taxpayer. But of course, the way they portray it is simply Angela's for the good of the people, while the person who's accusing the British government of wasting the money while going on fact-finding trips and hopefully bringing business back into the economy is the baddie. I don't need to explain this to you, do I? But as I often say here on the show, make sure that you look at every single story from both sides, because over here, particularly with the national newspaper groups, they decide which party, whichever they've decided they wish to portray. And the story they're presenting to you is not impartial, it's not straight down the line, it's whatever editorially they decide they want to go down this particular route. But back to the Metro. I was surprised going down this particular route. Also, given the fact that it's a free newspaper and now people are going to lose their jobs with their narrative, false or true, remains to be seen exactly where they go next. And as ever, with newspapers like this, will you ever get the truth? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.